Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about Barcelona's upcoming game against Girona. It's been such a quick turnaround from our previous game against Osasuna. We're going to be looking at the words from Hansi Flick, and we're going to be talking about Barcelona's match tomorrow. The games are going to be coming quick and fast, and so I want to be doing my best to bring you guys all the news, all the quotes in regards to Barcelona. But guys, before I get started on the video, make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. Everything is posted down below in the description, and as well, the link to become a member is also posted down below. You get access to badges, perks, and as well, the Discord server that I did create. If you don't want to become a member, feel free. But as always, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And let's get started with the video. Alright guys, let's get started with the video and let's look at the words from Hansi Flick ahead of Barcelona's match against Girona tomorrow. And it's going to be an exciting match. Barcelona, we are going to be playing at home. We're feeling very, very confident after Barcelona's victory over Osasuna. We didn't skip a beat. We weren't anywhere I would say off the pace necessarily. Barcelona absolutely solid, and we're going to be looking to continue that momentum and continue that form tomorrow. Hansi Flick starts off his press conference by saying, "We're looking forward to the game. The last 10 La Liga matches are very important." And when we look at the La Liga matches that are remaining, I did share it before, but let me bring the little spreadsheet or the little image so you guys can see. But these are Barcelona's last 10 games of La Liga season. You can see that we have Girona that we're going to be playing against Real Betis. The only difficult games I would necessarily say is the Real Madrid game, the El Clasico, obviously. You also have Barcelona's away trip to the San Mamés. That's a very, very difficult encounter. That's going to be the last game of La Liga, and could that be a pivotal match in the season? We're going to have to see. But overall, Barcelona playing a lot more games at home than away. This is something that Barcelona, they've already planned, because at the start of the season, they were planning on having to play the last couple of games at home in order to be playing in the Spotify Camp now. That's why they wanted to play some more away matches. But as I've talked about on the channel, it doesn't seem likely that we're going to be playing in the Spotify Camp now. But continuing on, guys, and talking about Hansi Flick, his words about the match, he talks about Osasuna's claims in which they were basically complaining about, oh, Inigo Martinez, it wasn't supposed to be fielded. Absolutely ridiculous. Hansi Flick, he says, each club is responsible for its own affairs. I can't say anything about that. We want the 3 points, and that's my focus. He says, I'm focused on the next game. There are a lot of games right now. We analyze the games and the opponents, and there's not much time to think about it. Besides, it's not something that concerns me. I don't have any information about it at the moment. And this is not Hansi Flick's job to address this situation. This is, more of Laporta and the board, and more of their, responsibilities rather than the coach. Hansi Flick, his only responsibility is making sure this team is running efficiently and getting the results. Hansi Flick, he talks about possible rotations. He says every player can play. Maybe we rest 1 or 2 players. Everyone is available to play. It's a good situation. And in regards to that, guys, I do expect some rotations, because reports were coming out in regards to Frenkie de Jong. We do know that he was substituted out, but there is some doubt in his participation for tomorrow's match. The reports are saying that he's carrying an adductor overload, and thus he could be reserved for tomorrow's match, with the view of him being 100% fit and ready for the game against Atletico Madrid. And I do think that's the viable option. I would much rather rest Frenkie for tomorrow's match and have him being able to play on Wednesday against Atletico Madrid. I want 0 risk taken, and thus I most likely will be expecting some rotation on the midfield. You could possibly see Gavi start for a second consecutive match. You can also see maybe an Eric Garcia potentially, but those are some rotations that I do have in mind. Hansi Flick, he talks about Gavi. He says his best position is a number 6 or a number 8, but he can play in several positions. Against Osasuna, he played well to press the opponent, and we'll see what we do tomorrow. I'm very happy with his performance as a number 6. He kept possession very well in the second half. He did a great job. And in regards to that, these words, they do give me some inkling that he is going to start tomorrow. And I think this is very, very good for Gavi, because he's a player that I do think it needs minute in order to get back to that best level. And towards the end of the game against Osasuna, you were seeing some flashes of that old Gavi that we all love and remember. And I think it's only a matter of time before we see that Gavi return. Hansi Flick, he has some enormous praise for Ferran Lopez. He says every player is important. To start with, the level in training is very high, and we need the players to be at their best. The reaction after Lewandowski's goal says everything about him. He's a great fighter, a great kid. When he doesn't play well sometimes, he gets a little sad, but we love him like this, smiling and giving his all for the team. Now he can show that in every game. I'm happy he's here. It's fantastic. And right there, you had some glowing praise from Hansi Flick. And it's most likely that Fermín Lopez is going to be starting tomorrow against Girona. With Dani Olmo being now injured for roughly 3 weeks, this is a perfect opportunity for Fermín to cement himself in that number 10 position. But another option that we have talked about on the channel is Paulo Torre, who did have a very, very good cameo against Osasuna, and could he be an option to be involved against Girona? It's most likely that Fermín Lopez starts, but I would like to see Paulo Torre involved in some sense. Hansi Flick talks about the striker position. He says that the situation we had against Osasuna was also about the upcoming matches. I spoke with Ferran and Lewa. Lewa only wants collective success. He's not thinking about the Pastici. He's looking at what the team needs. This is very good. And against Osasuna, everything went well. And with Lewandowski being rested on Thursday against Osasuna, we're most likely going to see him start today. But I would only want him to have maybe 60 or 70 minutes of playtime, and then have Ferran play the end of those 20 minutes. That way, Lewandowski, he isn't too fatigued for Barcelona's midweek match, in which is going to be a crucial time. Hansi Flick, he talks about Lamine Yamal, and says Lamine is very intelligent and knows how to manage the game. I spoke with him to find out how he's feeling, and he's positive. I always talk to the players, and the players have a responsibility for their bodies. If something different happens, they have to speak up. Players have to take responsibility for their bodies, especially at a club like Barca. And Lamine Yamal, he is a player who hasn't been rested that much this season. He's been involved basically in every single game for both club and country. He did have a period in the month of November and December where he wasn't involved due to those injuries. But, I do trust Hansi Flick and Lamine Yamal to know what's right for them and to understand the limits and say, hey, you know what? I'm feeling a little bit fatigued. Let me rest, or let me be subbed out. I have full faith in the coach and the player. And this is one of the most interesting quotes from the press conference, because he talks about Ansu Fati and he says, we'll see if it's possible. We need him. What I have to say is that it's not an easy situation for him, but Paul Victor and Paulo Torre have also trained fantastically. That's what I want from the players, for them to give 100% and prove they deserve to play. Now, you saw some glowing praise for Fermín Lopez, saying he's a player who gives 100%. He's great. I'm so happy that he's here. And in regards to Ansu Fati, that quote was more in like of saying, hey, Ansu Fati is great and all, but he needs to give me more. He's not giving 100%, and that's why he's not playing. And in the game against Osasuna, you saw Ansu Fati go and warm up for a couple minutes before he was called back onto the bench. And you saw some fans in the crowd booing Hansi Flick for that. But I think Hansi Flick is completely in the right here. If Ansu Fati in training sessions, which we talked about before on the channel, isn't necessarily giving that 110%, putting in the same intensity that, for example, if Fermín Lopez puts in a Pau Victor or Paulo Torre, then why should he play ahead of them? It makes absolutely no sense. And I trust Hansi Flick to make the best decision possible. And when we look at tomorrow's lineup, guys, in which is going to be a very, very key lineup, as some rivals, they are dropping points. Atletico Madrid, they drew 1-1 against Espanyol, and right now Real Madrid, they are losing against Leganes 2-1. The first half just finished, and the second half has just started. And so looking at tomorrow's lineup, it's going to be a very, very key lineup, as we want to get the 3 points, because when we look at the Liga table, it's going to be very, very key. And so you're going to have Szczęsny in goal, who reports are now saying that he's basically, that the contract extension is basically done. All that's missing is a couple little details, and then it's absolutely official. And I absolutely love this extension from Barcelona. We've talked about it before on the channel, how it was only a matter of time, but it seems everything is done and only the signature is required. I'm absolutely over the moon that Szczęsny is going to be staying at Barcelona. He's been such a calming figure and a clutch figure as well in that goalkeeper position that he's basically, made that his own. And I absolutely cannot wait to see him for another season. Hopefully he becomes Barcelona's #1 keeper. A keeper coming back from retirement and has now cemented himself as the #1 Barcelona keeper. Absolutely insane. But looking at the lineup for tomorrow's match, guys, you can see that Szczęsny is going to be starting. I expect Balde to start as well alongside Jules Koundé, both Barcelona fullbacks. But I do expect Balde to be coming off for maybe Gerard Martin, roughly in the 60th minute mark. You're going to see Pau Cubarsí and Ron Rajo return to the lineup, most likely Ron Rajo back from international duty per se. He was ready to play against Osasuna on Thursday, but Hansi Flick opting to give him some rest. Pau Cubarsí recovering from his injury. And in the midfield, you're most likely going to see Pedri alongside either an Eric Garcia or a Gavi. I would like to see Gavi. I thought he played particularly well in that position. You're going to see Rafinha back in the lineup alongside Fermín Lopez, Lamine, Yamal, and Lewandowski. And I think that lineup is very, very strong, and I expect the 3 points. I think Barcelona are the favorites. And when we look at that La Liga table, guys, if this results continue, then if Barcelona win against Girona, we would be having a 5-point gap over Real Madrid. Well, Real Madrid, they've just tied. They've literally just tied. Look at that right there. So that basically means that Barcelona, they're still going to be maintaining this 5-point gap. If Real Madrid, they lose, that 5-point gap would become 6. But let's expect a Madrid victory, and then if anything positive happens, then we just move along. We're back at 0. But guys, it's going to be an exciting match tomorrow. I will be having a watch along and a match reaction for that match, so make sure to tune in. I want to hear your guys' score predictions down below. And which players would you like to see involved? Would you like to see a Fermín Lopez involved, a Gavi, a Pablo Torre, a Gerard Martin, a Hector Ford? I want to hear your thoughts and comments down below. And as always, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, guys.